Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log. Subject 220907.4. We've archived all previous Halls of Injustice videos on the Judge Moist YouTube channel link below and will now push with improving future uploads, starting from next week because this week time is a tad brief. Hello everyone, welcome to the Halls of Injustice. Today we welcome inmates number 141 to the ISO cubes. Inmates number 141 is going to be with us for quite some time, and that is because the nature of the crime committed by inmate 141 is of the most serious variety. Consider that your trigger warning if you're that type. Inmates number 141 is called Cody Ackland, and today I'd like to tell you a bit about Cody Ackland, inmates number 141. I would like to tell you about the crimes he committed, the trial, and his sentence. As you know it's severe, you know the sentence should be, and it is, spoilers, quite long. So to begin, we shall now discuss who Cody Ackland is. Inmates number 141, aka Cody Ackland, was born on the 1st of June 1997 at St. Vinzenz Krankenhaus Hospital in Paderborn, Germany. His father was listed on the birth certificate as being a Lance Corporal in the Devonshire and Dorset Regiment. The Devon and Dorset Regiment, which his father was in, was merged into the Rifles in 2007. Ackland's mother married his father in 1990. They have since separated. They do still live close to each other though in Plymouth. Cody Ackland lived with his mother in the Southway area of the city, which is 2.5 miles away from the home of his victim. Cody Ackland went to Estover Community College in Plymouth and was quite an active user of social media. He was also the lead guitarist and songwriter for Plymouth indie rock band Rakuda, who upon finding out what Cody Ackland had done had immediately issued a statement on their Instagram and disbanded, as a mark of respect, but also because they felt they could not go forward with the project that they were trying to push forward with, because of what Cody Ackland had done. The band was named after a bar in the city. The band itself had described their influences as Kasabian and Oasis, so one reasonably talented and the other incredibly lazy, and they had built up a bit of a cult following. They released a number of songs on Spotify, with titles including I Want to Enter Your Soul, Atomic Woman, and Where Do I Go. They even had an EP of theirs played on local BBC radio. At the time, they said that the remaining members of Rakuda are extremely shocked and in complete disbelief by what has unfolded over the last several days. As a mark of respect, we have decided we shall not be going forward as a band and will be disbanding with immediate effect. We will not be making any further comments at this time. Later on, the remaining 4 had said that they wished to thank people for their support over the weeks. The post said that while they had decided to take a short hiatus from the music scene, it is with a view of reforming in the spring of 2022. That respect though, right? Cody Ackland's last Instagram post was made at 9:55 PM on November the 15th, which is the night before his victim disappeared. He had posted a picture of himself with the caption, "Was a gig to remember." Based on this, you now know Cody Ackland was young, was reasonably talented, and had a somewhat bright future ahead of himself. It's bright to an extent now, but it's within a prison cell. And this is the part now where we go to Saturday, November 20th at 6 PM. A very specific time, because now we insert Ann Macleod, Cody Ackland's victim. On the 20th of November 2021 at 6 PM, Ann Macleod went to a bus stop. Her intention was to go and meet up with her boyfriend in Plymouth. Her house was in Liam. Bobby was last seen waiting for that bus. Cody Ackland decided in a completely random attack to bundle Ann, who comparatively was only 4'11", into his car. He then drove her somewhere else and repeatedly beat her with a blunt instrument before dumping Ann Macleod's body in Boversand. Bobby's disappearance prompted a search because her phone, bus ticket, and headphones were found abandoned. The police were able to trace her phone, but they were unable to pinpoint in the city where she was. What happened next, though, makes this quite interesting. Cody Ackland felt guilt. 3 days later, he walked into a police station and he informed the police of what he had done, along with revealing he had hidden Bobby Ann's body in a wooded area off a lane near the local beach. Half a year previously, he had posted scenes from a fire at the sands, complete with lyrics from Oasis song Cast No Shadow, which showed he had a personal connection to the place, if that makes any sense. Interestingly, there is actually a timeline of events provided by one of the articles linked below. You have, at 6:23 p.m, Bobby fails to board the bus for city centre at Sheep Store Road, a 4-minute walk from her home. At 11 p.m, her brother Lee says her phone went to voicemail after she vanished but begins ringing through with no answer. On Sunday the 21st of November at 3:45 a.m, Bobby Ann's phone stops ringing and goes to voicemail. At 9 p.m, officers tracking the phone says that it is in the Plymouth area but they cannot locate it. On Monday the 22nd, the police get her phone, they search Millwood Drive, they search nearby woodlands. On Tuesday the 23rd, her body is found. Because he has admitted to what he has done, we're going to go straight to the trial because some aspects of that are quite important before we get to the sentence of inmate number 141, aka Cody Ackland. The police had believed that Bobby Ann Macleod had been abducted. The prosecution, though, decided it would not seek a trial on a charge of kidnap because of the guilty plea to murder. Judge Robert Linford told Cody Ackland, "You have pleaded guilty to murder and the sentence is fixed by law. The sentence is imprisonment for life and the only issue will be the minimum term I will impose." Bobby Ann's parents and other family members sat next to the police officers just a few feet from the enclosed glass-fronted dock where Ackland sat surrounded by security staff. Before Cody was brought into the court, Judge Linford had said, "When this case came last before the court, I asked for an atmosphere of restrained silence during the proceedings. I got it and I was very grateful for the way everyone conducted themselves in difficult circumstances. I want to repeat that these are very difficult, tense hearings, but again I expect the case to proceed in silence and no reaction from anyone to anything that may be said or done during the hearing." Prosecutors had said they were fully intending to serve the full psychiatric report by the end of the week, and Judge Linford said he would not be seeking further psychiatric evidence in the case. Richner Posner, prosecuting, said that he was waiting for further evidence from neuropathologist's report that he hoped to serve to the court before the end of the month. This in turn would then affect the full sentencing note detailing the facts of this murder. Ray Tully, who defended Cody Ackland, said he will be providing the court with a psychiatric report about the defendant ahead of the sentencing hearing. During this hearing, the only thing he really said, Cody Ackland that is confirmation of his name, date of birth, and to admit to murdering the teenager. So we can now skip ahead to the sentence itself, because there's no real trial here. He's admitted guilt, therefore we don't need to present too much. Everything we know that has to happen only affects how long his sentence is. Now, life in the UK is a minimum of 25 years. That is what it is. I know in some countries life is life. Whole life terms in this country are rare, and that's quite astonishing considering the number of people we have covered within the halls of injustice that truly deserve a whole life term. But who are we to decide who gets a whole life term? I'm a motherfucking judge. Everyone gets life. Even those that pickpocket get life. We're dicks here. When sentenced, Judge Robert Linford told Cody Ackland, "You subjected Bobby Ann Macleod to a prolonged, savage and merciless attack. She was a young, popular and much-loved person. You caused outrage and fear in this part of the country, and with good reason it was utterly motiveless." Cody Ackland, inmate number 141, was sentenced by Judge Linford to life in prison, with a minimum of 30 years and 190 days behind bars. He would also remain indefinitely a highly dangerous person, and that there is a strong possibility you may never be released from prison. It was during this we discovered that Cody Ackland had been acting out a dark fantasy, and that he was also obsessed with Ted Bundy. Upon being taken away from the docks to spend his time in the ISO cubes, Bobby Ann Macleod's brother shouted, "You're a dead man, you dirty, see you next Tuesday." Well, at least decorum was maintained up till that point, and I can understand why a volatile response was required. One other detail that I feel is right to mention, one that I didn't mention during the crime because it wasn't mentioned till later on in the sentencing article, was something that Cody Ackland had said in an interview. With the police, he had said, "It's not funny, but she started to make a noise and I thought, effing hell, wow, I mean hats off to her," before deciding to then stomp on her neck. What a cowardly worm you are. I hope you do die in prison, preferably of old age, a eunuch, and suffering. as is only fair. So what did those psychiatric reports indicate when it came to Cody Ackland? He has ADHD, dyslexia, depression, anxiety, all by the age of 19, the depression being a 7-year history. He was self-medicating, and someone that was prone to self-harm. He also had an isolated and sad life from a young age. He is self-absorbed, but not in a narcissistic way, and is not self-loving. He is self-loathing. He grew up to hate himself, angry with the world, angry with everything, and did at times seek assistance and help about that, but wasn't particularly forthcoming. This all sounds eerily familiar. I can't imagine why. Do enjoy the rest of your life in one of these ISO cubes, you wretched, despicable piece of crap.